Hi Last Cloudians, I'm back with another Last Cloudia video. It's an analysis on the final boss of the very first arc we had in Last Cloudia, LOUGSEUS. Apologize for taking this long, had issues with my PC and had a lot of trouble putting this video together, but I'm still gonna do what I gotta do. Right, speaking about LOUGSEUS, I'm very surprised that he's actually out this early given that he's the almighty last boss of the game, and I'm worried that it will feel a little off with the later release characters being more powerful than him. But apparently that's not gonna be happening anytime soon, as I've heard that LOUGSEUS is gonna be a benchmark for a while. That would also translate to the upcoming Full Metal Alchemist collab, which I will be releasing a first impression video on the characters. Now if you would like to see that too, consider subscribing and turning on those notifications. Alright then, let us get into the video. So his auto attacks and skills, all skills only with STR, and skills are all dark element. Now this excluding his ultimate. Now his auto attacks is 4 hits with a decent range and area. Very good number of hits. The range is also good. The area it hits is also pretty wide. This is definitely a plus point for him. Now next is S1, 10 SCT, 8 hits, 5 max stocks. Now he hits a short AoE around and in front of him and ends with a small knockback. Not really chainable to the knockback unless they are at the sides of the screen. S2, 25 SCT, 12 hits, max 3 stocks. Now he can cast this anywhere on the map on his target, and he generates an AoE around his target with a knockup. Now he does have a second part of this skill, having about a 25% chance to inflict a minus 30% STR debuff on the enemy. This is not stackable with Blazer, the debuff Blazer, and this one lasts 30 seconds. Now for S3, 38 SCT, 18 hits, max stocks of 2. He needs to be at a medium distance from the enemy, and he unleashes a huge lightsaber on them. Pretty big knockback at the end also. Of course, it has a plus 2500 damage cap increase. Very nice for that 18 hit skill with this damage cap. As for his ultimate, it's pretty basic, so I'm skipping it. Okay, I lied. It scales with STR and int. So the scaling is good, and I love this number. It's 88. Very auspicious number, if you know what I mean. Not to take away the highlight for this, but it's a really huge number of hits, which potentially can make this a really hard-hitting ultimate. Moving on to his traits. Trait 1 is pretty straightforward. Huge ass damage cap and does more damage to non-gods and takes less damage from them. It's like a combination of a lesser non-god slayer and a protection from them. There's a decent number of pure god units, so unless people mix in other mimicries, it's kind of subjective for this boost. What are his missing are as follows: Spirit, Undead, Dragon, and God. At this point, the first 3 are not exactly that relevant, which can be easily dealt with by equipping said slayers. God-wise is the biggest weakness. As long as a unit has God type, this trait will not work. Can he start forcing people in the arena to full equip God types into their teams? Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Trait 2 deals 5 hits of no elemental damage to the nearest enemy. Yes, only one enemy, and it only scales with int. Given the length for it to proc, the damage adds up in long fights. I feel that it is like sort of a buff to his mage builds, or give a little bit more side damage even if you have built him physical. Nothing too huge as to my knowledge. You can't buff it in any other way other than increasing his int or reducing the opponent's MND. Now he can't crit, can't proc any other abilities, etc. And that's it for this trait. He has a charisma and is a pretty good one, buffing both physical and magic damage of your whole team. Yes, it's not a damage cap increase, but for fights that you are not exactly capping on damage, this will definitely add a lot to your overall damage. We also have our first anima, which is like a free debuff on all enemies. Only one anima can be active at a time. LOUGSEUS anima reduces MND though. Useful if you have a mage in the team, and it also helps to weaken heals and proc force heals of enemies. Something interesting to take note of. Next, I'm going to run through those new skills that we see on him. Firstly, Dark Attack Raise 3. Okay, it's new, but I don't think I need to go through this one. Very important though, as it buffs both physical and magic damage for him. God Armor is interesting. Right, 75% to all his basic stats if he doesn't equip any weapon or armor. So, we're gonna run a naked LOUGSEUS. Well, it does go well with the team, right? He is a god and he doesn't need tools made by mere mortals. The last time we had something like this was with Senku, with the skill Shiny Monkey, but that didn't really work out. But that was only 10% all base stats, so this might be different. Technically, this is supposed to replace the loss of stats from weapons and armor, and that includes dual wielding. Is it successful? Let us take a look. So I won't bore you with the actual calculations, but after doing the math, thanks to Scorba for doing this with me on stream, he does pack a real high raw stats with this 75%, potentially bringing his STR and int to over 5k, with also pretty decent defensive stats. Now the real question here is, do you want to equip weapons on him? Well, there's mainly two general answers to that. Now, number one, if you're not capping on damage, for example on stages that have really high defense, or best case would be in the arena, you will want more stats, as also saving that 14 SC from dual wield on other skills which can buff your damage to deal higher numbers. Now this raw stat buff not only makes his damage numbers really good, but also makes him much tankier with high defense and MND. Another part of the MND is also increasing his proc force heals. Number two, if you are already hitting damage cap or have no issues with hitting it of 21,999, then you will get better results by dual wielding him. Weapons wise, you can go with damage cap increases, skill damage, etc. And of course also Trishula. However, one thing that I would like to point out this specifically on this item, Science Flag from Dr. Stone collab. Now it has the skill similar to Thaumaturgy Ring and gives a 30% of int to STR when using skills. Now together with Thaumaturgy, this will get you to 50%. Now this is a huge factor as it can, if you are focusing on building him int, and it can reach numbers above 6,000 STR on skills. That'll probably be the highest number obtainable. Let me know in the comment section if I missed anything down below. Now Destroyer God, it is like a permanent Grand Brave and a minus 35% physical damage reduction. Very impressive skill on its own. Do note that it does not stack with other Brave skills, and this also makes him very tanky with the physical damage reduction. If you run him without weapons or armor, he's also gonna be having quite a decent amount of defensive stats, which will work really well for his survivability. On his paid accessory, this is by far the best paid gear, and just by looking at it, you should know why. Basically, I would say this is the most worth paid gear ever in Last Cloudia history, and I hope that this doesn't become a norm in the future. I won't be going too detailed into his UR arc, but things to note is that it is very good for dark units as it does increase damage and damage cap, does give Dark Attack Raise 2, and its Ark AER reward is so made for him, as it just further buffs his damage and also giving him status ailment resist, which is an icing on the cake. Overall, he doesn't have a lot of new skills per se, however, those that he have are mostly the powerful ones. Skills like Magic Aura, Sharp Eyes, Dark Damage Boost, all of them are vital passives for both physical and magic damage, making him a very viable to be played both ways. What I would like to mention additionally is that he has a lot of Slayers on him, and as much as you guys know, Slayers are very crucial to bumping up those damage numbers. So he also has special boosts, and that really makes him one of the best physical damage dealers in the game. The downside is that he is Dark Elemental locked. Not having any Dark Resist down abilities does hurt him a little, but that also means that you can build a team around that to further amplify his effectiveness. Alright guys, so this is it for me for this LOUGSEUS analysis video. If you have found this video useful, do drop a like and also consider subscribing to my channel for more Last Cloudia content. Leave a comment in the comment section down below what you think about LOUGSEUS. You know, is there anything that I missed? And yeah, see you guys in the next one, man. Take care. This is Xez here, and I'm signing out.